So, Principal Sir, Dr. Ashwini Kumar Pallaji, and today's resource person, Dr. Paramjeet Kaur, my dear colleagues, and my dear students, I do welcome to all of you on today's extension lecture. This lecture has been given by Dr. Paramjeet Kaur. The topic of today's lecture is Fundamentals of Quantum Optics, Light at Quantum Levels. ਸੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਐਕਸਟੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਕਚਰਸ ਦੀ ਲੜੀ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਤੋਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਫਿਜ਼ਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਦੇਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਮਮਤਾ ਮੈਮ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਆ ਕੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਰਿਸੋਰਸ ਪਰਸਨ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਨ।
Good morning to everyone present here. Respected Principal Sir Dr. Ashwini Kumar Bhalla, our Honorable Resource Person Dr. Paramjeet Kaur, esteemed faculty members and dear students, a very warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to all this special lecture on the fundamental of quantum optics, light at the quantum level. On the behalf of the Department of Physics, Government College Gurdaspur, I warmly welcome our resource person, Dr. Paramjeet Kaur, Assistant Professor in the Department of Physics from Guru Nanak Dev University. Ma'am has more than 12-year teaching and research experience and has published 45 research papers in reputed journals. Her research area include quantum optics, non-linear optics, electromagnetically induced phenomena, and atom localizations. Quantum optics is a fascinating and advanced field that help us to understand the nature of light and the quantum levels. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to our principal, respected principal sir Dr. Ashwini Kumar Bhalla, for continuous encouragement and support in organizing such academic activities. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to our resource person, respected teachers and dear students. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite our respected principal sir to share a few words with us and guide the students with his valuable thoughts. Sir, kindly address the guest.
बहुत ही सत्कारयोग अज दे मुख वक्ता रिसोर्स पर्सन फॉर डिलीवरिंग द एक्सटेंशन लेक्चर इन द सब्जेक्ट ऑफ फिजिक्स प्रोफेसर परमजीत कौर जी, सहायक प्रोफैसर डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फिजिक्स गुरु नानक देव यूनिवर्सिटी अमृतसर, मेरे फिजिक्स विभाग के मैथमैटिक्स विभाग के अध्यापक साहबान ते प्यारे विद्यार्थियों, असी जो लड़ी एक्सटेंशन लैक्चरस की शुरू की है वह मुख मंतव यही है कि तुहानू उन्हां विषयां दे बारे जिहड़े कि तुहानू तुहाडे फील्ड दे विच लाहेवंद हो सकते हैं, इंपॉर्टेंट हो सकते हैं इन फ्यूचर, उहदे बारे जानकारी दित्ती जाए। तुहाडे अध्यापक तां तुहानू पढ़ाउंदे ही है, लेकिन उहदे नाल नाल यूनिवर्सिटियां दे विच की चल रहा, मैं हमेशा ही अपने टीचर्स नूं कहा कि जदों भी कोई रिसोर्स पर्सन बुलाना तो यूनिवर्सिटी डिपार्टमेंट तो बुलाना, क्योंकि तुहानू लेटेस्ट टैक्नोलॉजी दे नाल लेटेस्ट फील्ड दे नाल जानू करवा के जाओ। पिछे असी गणित विभाग का एक लैक्चर करवाया सी, इस तरह आने वाले समय दे विच बॉटनी जूलॉजी के भी लैक्चर होणगे। सो सब तो पहला तो मैं बधाई दिना फिजिक्स डिपार्टमेंट नूं कि जिहड़ा उन्होंने विशा चुनिया, वो विशा जिहड़ा है वो बिल्कुल रैलेवेंट है और वो साडे सारिਆਂ ਦੇ जीवन ਦੇ ਨਾਲ संबंधित भी है, क्योंकि मैं तो कमर्स का विद्यार्थी हाँ, मैनेजमेंट का विद्यार्थी हाँ, मैनू फिजिक्स कैमिस्ट्री और बॉटनी जूलॉजी बारे बहुता ज्ञान नहीं, लेकिन जो मैं इन्हां दा टॉपिक पढ़िया फंडामेंटल्स ऑफ क्वांटम ऑप्टिक्स लाइट एट द क्वांटम लैवल, तो पहले मैनू लग्या भी बड़ा टैक्नीकल जिहा है, क्योंकि हुण बतौर संस्था के मुखी ਮੇਰੀ ਵੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਇਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ 2 ਸ਼ਬਦ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਬੋਲੋ, ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫਿਜ਼ਿਕਸ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਪੈ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਕੈਮਿਸਟਰੀ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਪੈ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਮੈਥਮੈਟਿਕਸ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਪੈ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਔਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦਿਲਚਸਪ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਵਾਕਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੁਆਂਟਮ ਆਪਟਿਕਸ ਹੈ, ਫਿਜ਼ਿਕਸ ਦੀ ਉਹ ਬ੍ਰਾਂਚ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਰੋਸ਼ਨੀ ਦੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਫੋਟੋਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿਹਾਰ ਨਾਲ ਅਧਿਐਨ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਇਹਦਾ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਇਹ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਬੜਾ ਵਿਗਿਆਨਿਕ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਇਹਦਾ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵ ਸਾਡੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ। ਕਿਵੇਂ? ਲੇਜ਼ਰ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋ, ਔਰ ਕੁਆਂਟਮ ਫਿਜ਼ਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਸਿਧਾਂਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ ਤੇ ਲੇਜ਼ਰ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਵਿਕਸਿਤ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਲੇਜ਼ਰ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ? ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਰਜਰੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਦੈਨ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਅਲ ਕਟਿੰਗਸ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਟਿੰਗਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਲੇਜ਼ਰ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ। ਬਾਰਕੋਡ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਕੈਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਖਰੀਦਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਲੇਜ਼ਰ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ। ਅਤੇ ਕਈ ਵਿਗਿਆਨਿਕ ਉਪਕਰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਵਰਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੁਆਂਟਮ ਆਪਟਿਕਸ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਸਿਧਾਂਤ ਹੈ। ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਾਈਬਰ ਆਪਟਿਕਸ ਦਾ ਸਿਧਾਂਤ ਹੈ, ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ ਤੇ ਡਿਜੀਟਲ ਸੰਚਾਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲ ਸਕਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੰਚਾਰ ਦੀ ਫਾਈਬਰ ਆਪਟਿਕਸ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕੁਆਂਟਮ ਆਪਟਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਸਿਧਾਂਤ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਆਧਾਰਿਤ ਹੈ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਡਾਟਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਜੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੱਕ ਆਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਭੇਜਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੁਆਂਟਮ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਹੈ, ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਦਾ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ, ਸੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕੁਆਂਟਮ ਆਪਟਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੁਆਂਟਮ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਵਿਕਸਿਤ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਅਤ ਸੰਚਾਰ ਸੰਭਵ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਫੋਰ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਵਿਡਰਾਅ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ, ਕਿਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੈਕ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ, ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ। ਸੋ ਇਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਦੇ ਖੇਤਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ, ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਡਾਇਗਨੋਸਿਸ ਦੇ ਖੇਤਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ, ਜਾਂ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਿਉਰਿੰਗ ਔਰ ਇਲਾਜ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਮਹੱਤਵਪੂਰਨ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਸ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਫੋਰ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਲੇਜ਼ਰ ਸਰਜਰੀ ਹੈ, ਕੈਂਸਰ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਈ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਉਪਕਰਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਕੁਆਂਟਮ ਆਪਟਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ। ਸੋ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਲੀ ਹੁਣ ਜੁੜਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ, ਸੋ ਇਹਦਾ ਗਿਆਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਸਿਰਫ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਦੇ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਲਕਿ ਬਾਕੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਬਾਕੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਦਾ ਵਿਵਹਾਰਿਕ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਦੇ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਦਾ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਲ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਇਸ ਏਰੀਏ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਗੇ ਫਰਦਰ ਸਟੱਡੀਜ਼ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ 'ਚੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਐਮਐਸਸੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਣਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਪੀਐਚਡੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਣਗੇ, ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਫੀਲਡ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਮੈਡਮ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਲ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਦਿਓ, ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕੁਆਂਟਮ ਆਪਟਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਫੀਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫੇਰ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਮੈਡਮ ਪਰਮਜੀਤ ਜੀ ਦਾ, ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੇਂਡੂ ਖੇਤਰ ਦੇ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀ ਹੈ, ਬਾਰਡਰ ਏਰੀਏ ਦੇ ਬੈਲਟ ਦੇ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀ એનર્ਜੀ ਹੈ, ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਲੈਣ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤਾਂਘ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੂਰੀ ਹੋ ਸਕੇਗੀ। ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫੇਰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ, ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ ਕਿ ਬੜੇ ਕੰਸੈਂਟਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਸੁਣਨਾ। ਔਰ ਮੈਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਇਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਸਵਾਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰੋ, ਰੇਜ਼ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਉਦੋਂ ਰੇਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਮਝਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ। ਇਹ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਚੁੱਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਬੰਦ ਕਰਕੇ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ OHT ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ। OHT ਮੀਨ ਓਵਰਹੈਡ ਟਰਾਂਸਮਿਸ਼ਨ। ਜੇ ਉਹ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਅਰਾਈਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਸੋ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਅਰਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਮੈਡਮ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੋਗੇ, ਅੱਜ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਲਾਭ ਲਓ। ਇਹ 1 ਘੰਟਾ 1.5 ਘੰਟਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੀ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਉਠਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਠਾਓ। ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।
ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਮੈਡਮ ਪਰਮਜੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਨੂੰ ਡਾਇਸ ਤੇ ਬੁਲਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਪੀਪੀਟੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ। ਮੈਡਮ ਪਰਮਜੀਤ ਕੌਰ, ਬੱਚੇ ਕਲੈਪਿੰਗ।
First, I really thank to physics department ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਨਵਾਈਟ ਕੀਤਾ to deliver the talk. Okay, ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਆਡੀਅנס ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ number of girls, I am audible to all of you? Okay, तो audience ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ कि number of boys are less as comparison to the number of girls. तो सेम पैटर्न जिहड़ा है वो यूनिवर्सिटी विच भी है, कुड़ियाँ ज़्यादा पढ़ रही हैं मुंडियां नालों, और मुंडे जिहड़े साइंस से घट है कुड़ियां नालों। साइंस मतलब जिस मैं फिजिक्स डिपार्टमेंट नाल डील करती हाँ, तो फिजिक्स डिपार्टमेंट जिहड़े बॉयज़ की स्ट्रेंथ है बहुत घट है, बट डेफिनेटली ये जिहड़े बच्चे जिहड़े बॉयज़ साइंस से जाते हैं वो बहुत वधिया परफॉर्म करते हैं। तो ये तुहाडे वास्ते मोटिवेशन है जिहड़े बॉयज़ ने साइंस ली हुई है। ओके, तो साइंस नूं अगे कंटिन्यू करियो, इनू इत्थे ब्रेक ना कर दिओ कि मैं BSc कर ली है मैं ब्रेक करना, गो फॉर MSc, गो फॉर PhD। ओके, तो बिफोर स्टार्ट द लेक्चर फर्स्ट आई इंट्रोड्यूस माई सेल्फ। ओके, you know my name and myself is Dr. Paramjit Kaur, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Physics, JNDU Amritsar. Okay, and I have done my BSc Honours School and MSc Honours School from Department of Physics, JNDU Amritsar, and I have done my PhD from IIT Roorkee, and after that I am joining the Department of Physics, JNDU as an assistant professor. Okay, so and it's my pleasure to deliver a talk in my home city. I am basically belong to the Gurdaspur. Okay, so it's my pleasure मैं इत्थे आई हैं गुरदासपुर च आई हैं तुहानूं टॉक देने वास्ते, एंड तुहाडे प्रिंसीपल सर काफ़ी कुछ दस गए तुहानूं क्वांटम ऑप्टिक्स बारे। तो लेट अस स्टार्ट द टॉक। द टाइटल ऑफ द टॉक इज द फंडामेंटल क्वांटम ऑप्टिक्स, लाइट एट द क्वांटम लेवल। ओके, नेक्स्ट। So first we discuss what is light. Now before discuss what is light, what are the sources of light? What are the sources of light? Sun. Any other source? Any other source? Moon, stars, even artificial lights, your tube lights, these are also the source of light. But we people never thought that what is light? Is it particle? Next. Particle model of light is illustrated by the photoelectric effect, Compton effect, and black body radiation. You people know the photoelectric effect? You people know the photoelectric effect and Compton effect? It is in your graduation level. Even black body radiation is also in your BSc level. Okay. My next question is it is a wave? Next. The wave model of light is illustrated by the properties of diffraction, interference, and polarization. You people know the diffraction, interference, and polarization. If the light shows these properties, diffraction, interference, and polarization, then you can say that the light is in the waveform. But if we discuss the photoelectric effect, Compton effect, and the black body radiation, then you people say that light is a particle corrector. So what is this? This is a wave particle duality. Next, please, next. Wave particle duality. Okay, next कर दो। तो wave particle duality. So it is given by de Broglie hypothesis, wave particle duality. The wave, that is light, can show both the character wave and light. So basically the wave particle duality is the basis of quantum mechanics, quantum optics, and quantum computing. Okay, next. So this is the electromagnetic spectrum of the light. You can see that we can see only the visible spectrum of the light. So the strength of the visible spectrum is 400 nanometer to the 700 nanometer, and you can see that from radio waves to, when we go from radio waves to the gamma rays, the frequency increases and wavelength decreases. Next. Okay. Now we will discuss how the quantum mechanics start. In the very first, you people study the 3 laws of motion. Newton's 3 laws of motion, first law, second law, and third law. Okay. But after that, you can see that I have write down the equation m is equal to d2 by r by dt square is equal to f. there is a mistake, f ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ vector sign ਆਣਾ ਸੀ, I forgot to put f vector sign on the f. Okay, so this is the second form, Newton's second law of motion, and from this Newton's second law of motion, if we know the initial position, velocity of the particle, we can find out the other quantities like position, momentum, angular momentum, energy at all subsequent times can be calculated. But where the classical mechanics fails, there we need a quantum mechanics. Basically, classical mechanics deal with the macroscopic objects, big objects, and the quantum mechanics deals with the microscopic objects, small objects. For example, we are dealing with atoms. We need then quantum mechanics. If we dealing with car is moving on the road, then we want to find out the force, okay, or friction. We have to use the classical mechanics. But if we are dealing with the atoms, we have to use the quantum mechanics. Next. Okay. Now I have write down classical world is deterministic. Means in the classical world we can determine anything, velocity, force, position. I have write down knowing the position and velocity of all the objects at a particular time, future can be predicted using the laws of force and Newton's laws of motion. But in quantum world, in the quantum world, we cannot find the exact position of the particle, where it is, exact velocity of the particle. We can only discuss the probability of the particle. That is, this much probability is that the particle is present at this position, and this is much probability is that the particle is present at that position. Okay, we are dealing with the probability. In quantum mechanics, we are dealing with the probability. In classical mechanics, we are dealing with the exact position. Okay, this is the two basic difference between those. And in the quantum mechanics, observer and observed. If you are the observer and observe something, they are tied together. But in classical mechanics, this is not happen. Observer and observed are not tied together. ਇਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ classical mechanics ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਾਰ move ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ at long distance. You can find out the friction. ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਦੀਆਂ calculation ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਣ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ values ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਣ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ equation ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਣ, Newton's laws of motion, you can easily calculate. But in quantum mechanics, both observer and observed are tied together. They are connected to each other. Next. Back. Yes. Okay. Quantum mechanics. Okay. And in quantum mechanics, all physical objects except both particle and wave-like properties. This is first proved by Heisenberg and the Schrödinger. In the quantum mechanical world is very different. In quantum mechanical world, energy is not continuous, energy in the discrete values. Energy has a discrete values. Light has a particle-like property, so light can bounce off objects just like balls. Particles have wave-like properties so that the two particles can interfere just like light does. Again, you can see that a particle is moving in quantum mechanics. If it is moving, you can see that it behaves like a wave. If the particle is moving, it behaves like a wave. So if you deal the light as a particle, then the Einstein energy is given by E is equal to h. This h is a Planck constant, where and frequency of that wave. If you are dealing with light has a wave properties, then you have to use the de Broglie relation. You can calculate wavelength is equal to h by mass into velocity. Okay. So experiment measure the probability of observing the object. This is basics of the quantum mechanics. Next. Now, you all know the atoms. Atoms are the natural quantum systems. Okay. Now, can you tell me, anyone of you, what is atom? लिखे हुआ है. Inside the atom, in the center of atom, there is a positive charge. That positive charge is called the nucleus, In the nucleus there exist a protons and neutrons, and outside that nucleus there are the orbits in which the electrons are revolving around that nucleus. Okay, and again energy is calculated by E is equal to h nu. Next. Okay, you know that absorption and emission. Absorption in which there are the two levels E1, E2. If the atom are placed in the ground state, it can take the photon of energy h nu, and it absorbs this photon and goes to the excited state. And in emission, atom is already in the excited states, and it comes back to ground state by emitting a photon of h nu energy. Next. This is the picture of the atoms. You can see that inside red dot shows that nucleus, and around circle shows that orbits in which electrons are revolving. So atoms are used as, what are the applications of atoms? Atoms are used as two-level atom, multi-level quantum systems, qubits in quantum computing, sensory probes in quantum sensing, medium for nonlinear optical effects. Okay, next. Now, we will discuss the rubidium atom. Okay, atomic number of rubidium is 37. Next, and the electronic configuration is written as Kr5s1. Now you can see there that there is only one electron in the outermost shell. Okay, so it means rubidium is alkali atom. It has only one electron in the outermost shell. So this is the simple structures of the rubidium. Why in my whole research study, I have discussed rubidium. Why I am taking the rubidium? Because rubidium has two isotopes. One is a rubidium 85, second is a rubidium 87. And rubidium 87 has 28% abundance. But in all quantum optics experiments and even theoretical, we are using rubidium 87 because it is well-defined hyperfine structure. Okay, next. Now, this is the energy structure of the rubidium atom. But I know in the BSc level, you people don't know what is hyperfine levels. But you know the principal quantum number, you know the azimuthal quantum number, you know the spin quantum number, you know the total angular quantum number. You people also know that total angular momentum is equal to the sum of the azimuthal quantum number plus the spin angular quantum number. But when we discuss the hyperfine structure, we have to take the nuclear spin. When we discuss the hyperfine structure. Then the total angular momentum becomes, if we discuss the total angular momentum, then we have considered the J. J is a total angular momentum plus the nuclear spin. Then we can define the hyperfine structure. Okay, you people will do, if you will do the MSc, you will do the one subject atomic and molecular spectroscopy. In that subject, you will discuss the hyperfine structure of this. Okay, so next, these are the D1 line of the rubidium atom. Next is the next slide. This is the D2 line of the rubidium 87. D1 line has a wavelength 795 nanometer and D2 has a line 780 nanometer. Basically difference is that D1 line goes to 5s12 to 5p1/2 and D2 line goes to 5s12 to 5p3/2. Okay, next. Now I will move to the introduction to the quantum optics. Quantum optics is a branch of physics in which we study the quantum nature of light and its interaction with the matter. So, in classical optics, we take light as a classical wave. But when we discuss the quantum optics, we will take the light as a particle character, means it is form of the discrete bundles. It has discrete energies. So at the quantum level, electromagnetic field is quantized. Energy exchange between light and atoms occur in discrete packets. Atomic transition are governed by quantum mechanics. Coherence and interference arise from superposition of the quantum states. Quantum optics, these are the some applications of the quantum optics. We will discuss in the next slides. Okay, next. Okay, importance of quantum optics in modern physics. Why it is important? Because it is used in quantum information technology, it is used in quantum sensing, it is used in laser cooling and trapping, nonlinear optics and optical switching, and in the last it is used in metrology and the atomic clocks. Okay, so atomic clocks has the application of atomic clocks, GPS systems, satellite and navigations, time standards. Next. Next. कर दो, पूरी स्लाइड कर दूंगी, कर दो. Yes, yes. So this is the interaction of light with the atom. You can see that when a light falls on the atom, you can take atom. I have discussed the different states of the atom. In that picture, you can see that this is a two-level atom. In this picture, you can see that there is many levels of the atom, but in this picture, I have taken only the two levels. One is G and other is E. Now, how can you choose the two level? You can take any two level as a two level system, but in that system, only one is a ground state, and excited state you can taken from any from of these states. Okay, when the light and atom are interact with each other, first we have to write down the interaction between them. So how can we write the interaction between them? We have to write down the coupling between the field and atom, which is given by Rabi, and it is known as Rabi frequency, which is defined as mu into E by H cross. What is mu? Mu is a dipole matrix element. You people know the dipole moment. What is dipole moment? What is dipole moment? Product of charge, जितना electron थे charge है, into the distance between the two charges. So this is dipole moment. Okay. Now the detuning. How can you define the detuning? I have write down the delta. Delta is omega L minus omega naught. What is omega L? Omega L is a frequency of light that will fall on the atom, and omega naught is a frequency between the two states of the atoms, between G and E. Okay. Now I have explained the absorption, spontaneous emission and stimulated emissions. You people know that what is absorption? In absorption, atom is already present in the ground state and take the photon and goes to the excited state. And in the spontaneous emission, atom is already in the excited state and it will goes back to the ground state by emitting a photon h nu. But what is in the stimulated emission? Atom is again in the excited state, but it will come back to the ground state when it absorb the photon of energy h nu. Now you can see that there is a emission of two photons which have same frequency. This is called the stimulated emission in the last picture. Okay, next. Now this is the atom light interaction. Basically this is the theory work of the quantum optics. तो ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਦਾ ਪਾਰਟ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ तो if we have taken the two level atom, first we have to write down the energy. I have write down the Hamiltonian. I have write down the interaction Hamiltonian. What is Hamiltonian? It is basically the sum of the kinetic energy and the potential energy of that system. So I have write down the interaction Hamiltonian for that system in this form. Then these are the energy eigenvalues when the light falls on it, falls on this atom. How the energy levels are changes. Next. So this is a picture when the interaction is off and when the interaction is on. You can see that when the detuning is less than 0, then the interaction is like this. That is, the two levels are far away. When the detuning, next is, please next. Next. When the detuning is greater than 0, the two levels are close to each other. Okay. Next. So this is a density matrix formalism. Now, I have already said that in the classical mechanics, we use the 3 laws of motion, that is Newton's laws of motion, and we can find out the velocity position of that atom. But in quantum mechanics, how can find out the time evolution of that system? We can use this density matrix equation. Rho is the density operator, and this is the density matrix for the 2-level atom. In this matrix, you can see that in this matrix, rho 11 and rho 22 explain the population of the level 1 and 2. Rho 12 and rho 21 is you define the coherence between the 2 levels. How the 2 levels are interact with each other, how the population is changes with between the 2 levels, between 1 and 2 and 2 and 1. And these are the corresponding decay level of that 2-level system. Next. So these are the density matrix equation for the 2-level atom. And to solve these equations, we have to use weak probe condition and steady state condition. What is weak probe condition? We have taken the probe, one of the laser field is so weak so that the atoms are present in the ground state. And the steady state condition is that it does not change with time. After using these conditions, I have found out this solution. Next. Okay, when I have plotted this formula in the MATLAB or mathematical software or in the Python, I have found out this result. You can see that the red line shows the absorption and red line shows the absorption and the dotted line shows the dispersion. Dispersion means refractive index. You can see that when the light of the incident light, frequency of the incident light matches completely with the frequency of the frequency between the 2 levels, that is when there is a 0. All the atoms in the excited state means there is a full absorption. You can see that in this picture, you can see that at 0 there is a full absorption. But when the frequency of light is far away or far away from that separation between the frequency separation between the 2 levels, then we get this type of graphs. And this is a corresponding dispersion curve or the refractive index. You can see that dispersion is negative in this case when we consider the 2-level atom. Next. Next is what is EIT? Before we have discussed the 2-level atom, now we discuss the 3-level system. In the 3-level system, one field is probe and other is control. Before we have discussed only the this much, 1, 2, 1 and 3. But now we have applied another laser that is called the control field. So what is happening by applying? की होया जिथे पहला absorption आ रही सी, मैं जो second laser apply कीती, मेरी उथे transparency window आ गई. And देख सकते हो तुसी, ये absorption show हो रही है, एक ये transparency window. So this is called the electromagnetically induced transparency. That is, electromagnetically induced transparency is a technique for eliminating the effect of medium on propagating beam of electromagnetic radiation. Next, करी जाओ, कर दो पूरा. So this is the 3-level atom. I have again taken the 3-level atom and I have write down the Hamiltonian for that system. When you write down the Hamiltonian of that system, you can find out that type of graph, that is a transparency window between them. And you can see that is a blue line, blue solid line in both the figures. You can see that in that graph, second graph, refractive index or the dispersion is positive now. If the dispersion is positive, where the transparency exists, dispersion is positive. If the dispersion is positive, your refractive index is positive. If refractive index is positive, then there is a decrease of the group velocity. Okay, next. So these are the density matrix formalism for this next 3-level system. Again, next kar do. Okay. Again, the optical response we have already discussed kar donge. Okay. Now we have considered 2-level system. We have considered the 3-level system. Now you people know have you heard about the Rydberg systems? Rydberg atoms. Rydberg atoms are those atoms in which the outermost electron can goes to the higher principal quantum number state. if n is very high, n is a principal quantum number, okay? If n is very high, then that atom is called the Rydberg atom. These are the some properties of the Rydberg atom. Its size is directly proportional to n square, its dipole moment is again n square, lifetime is approximately 100 microsecond when n is greater than 40. Again, n is a principal quantum number. N, L, S पढ़े होंगे तो सिर्फ quantum numbers. N is a principal quantum number, L is the azimuthal quantum number, S is the spin quantum number. So those atoms in which n is very high, in which the outermost electron can goes to the very high value of n, that atoms is called the Rydberg atoms. So when I include the Rydberg atom, when we include the Rydberg atoms, next. पीछे करना, एक स्लाइड रहेगी, प्लीज एक स्लाइड नहीं आ रही, ओके। तो दिस इज EIT for moving atoms. This is EIT for moving atoms. When we consider now, whole the study is done for the stationary atom, but when we consider the moving atoms, then what happens? You can see that your atom is also moving, your fields are also moving. Then how the EIT is changed? You can see that we have to perform this Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution to find out the effect of temperature on EIT, means electromagnetic induced transparency. When we include the effect of temperature, we can see that our transparency window becomes narrow. Our transparency window becomes narrow when we include the effect of temperature. Next. This is the Rydberg EIT, I have already discussed. In the Rydberg EIT, you can see that this window, when I consider the atom as a Rydberg atom, this window becomes very narrow. You can see that this is only 500 kilohertz, but the actual width is 6 megahertz m. Okay. So next we discuss, till now we have discussed the linear effect of the quantum optics. Now we will discuss the non-linear effect of the quantum optics. Now what is non-linear effect? What happened? What do you mean by non-linear? What do you mean by non-linear? When we fall a light on some matter, okay, then the response of the system is not directly proportional to that light, not directly proportional to the intensity of that light, then we can say that this system is non-linear. Okay, you can see that in this case, the susceptibility is again the response of the system when a light falls on the atom. You can see that the susceptibility is directly proportional to E the square, but it should be directly proportional to E, but now it is directly proportional to E square. It means now there is a non-linearity comes in the picture. Okay, next. So basically non-linearity gives you a Kerr effect. Kerr effect is a phenomena in which the refractive index of material changes because of an applied electric field. I have again discussed that this is a linear part. In this linear part, this linear refractive index, it depends directly proportional to E. E is the electric field. But in non-linear part, it directly proportional to E the square. In this case, non-linearity comes in the picture, and you can see that when I plot this non-linearity by using the MATLAB, Mathematica and any software, I have seen that this is my non-linear part. I have an enhanced non-linear absorption here. Means I have an enhanced non-linear Kerr effect as compared to this. Okay. So you can see that we can enhance the Kerr effect by using the electromagnetic induced transparency. Okay, next. Next is the atom localization. Okay, now atom localization is a technique in which we can explain the probability of atom within a small spatial region. कि आप दस सकते हैं कि एटम इतने प्रेजेंट है, जिस तरह हमने ਤੁਹਾਡੇ प्रिंसिपल सर डिस्कस करके गए हैं ना कि आप लेजर्स ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਐਟਮਸ ਨੂੰ ਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਉਹਦੀ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, but the atom localization is a technique in which we can say that the maximum probability of finding the atom is at this position. So this is the atom localization. So to discuss the atom localization, our first condition is we have to use the standing wave fields. What is the standing wave fields? You people know that. What is standing wave fields? in which the nodes and antinodes are formed. What is nodes? What is nodes? Nodes in which the amplitude is 0 and antinodes where the amplitude is maximum. Okay, so we have to use the standing wave field possess spatially varying intensity distribution, and atom traversing these fields will encounter the position dependent Rabi frequency. Okay, and the interaction between an atom and standing wave fields generates value associated with the atom's spatial position information. And you can see that this fourth number, atom localized at those positions where the maximum probe absorption occur in the space. Where the absorption of the particle is maximum, there is a probability of finding the atom is a maximum. Next. So this is the basics of the atom localization frequency. Okay. And the interaction between an atom and standing wave fields generates value associated with the atom's spatial position information. And you can see that this fourth number, atom localized at those positions where the maximum probe absorption occur in the space. Where the absorption of the particle is maximum, there is a probability of finding the atom is a maximum. Next. So this is the basics of the atom localization. Again, I have considered the 3-level system. Again, I have taken this omega c as a standing wave field. Standing wave field means it depends upon the position. I have taken omega sin kx. Kx, x is a position dependent. Okay, and I have used this formula. Again, next. And I have find out this picture, this dotted line shows the sine curve, and this right line shows that the position of finding the atom at this position is maximum. At is minus 2 kx. Okay, so this is the way we can find out the atom is at this position or that position. At atomic scale, okay, at microscopic level, we can find out the position of the atom by using the atom localization. Next. Next is the, again, electromagnetically induced grating. You people discuss the diffraction grating. Optics से practical कर दे होगे? Optics से practical है ये? Optics lab है ये? Grating की होती है बच्चे? Diffraction grating. Diffraction grating, basically diffraction grating is a equally spaced slits ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, and when the light falls on it, there is a dark and bright lines pattern are formed. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਹੋਏਗਾ, two slit experiment ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਹੋਏਗਾ, young slit experiment ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ, that is. So similarly, that grating is a classical grating. Now we will discuss the quantum mechanical grating. So that grating is called the electromagnetically induced grating. So an EIT medium with spatially varying absorption and dispersion properties act as a hybrid grating for the probe field. So this is the way you can see that when the two, I have taken the field, control field in this form. Again, it depends upon the space. You can see that when the two lights interfere, there is a formation of the grating like this. Okay, and this is the grating structure for this. This is a form of the grating. One is, you can see that there is one point where is a bright line and one point there is a dark line. So this is a quantum grating we have discussed. Okay, next is what is quantum computer. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ classical computer use ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਗੇ, laptop ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਕੋਲ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਣਗੇ. So in the classical computer there is a bits 0 and 1. Either you give a input 0 or 1. But in quantum computers, we call the bits as a qubits, and there is a existence of 0 and 1 they honge hi honge, but there is a superposition of these two states, that is alpha of 0 and beta of 1. This is called the superposition of states. You can see that when the light pulse of frequency lambda for time interval t/2 fall on this atom state, it goes to the superposition of state. Either it is in the 0, either it is on the 1. So what is a quantum computer? Quantum computers are the computers in which we use the qubits instead of bits, and in which the atom can present in the superposition of the states. Next. Next. Okay, now we will discuss what are the basics of the quantum computers. First is the superposition. Superposition is the principle that a quantum system can exist in multiple states simultaneously until it is measured. So these are the for the two-level system. Again, I have write down the wave function, that is alpha into 0 plus beta of 1. 0 and 1 are the basis of states, and alpha and beta are the probability amplitudes. When you normalize this function, you can find out the probability of the state, either it is in 1 or 0 or in the superposition of the states. Next is the entanglement. You can see that what is entanglement? Entanglement occurs when two or more quantum system becomes correlated such that the state of one system cannot be described independently of the other. You can see that these are the two systems, they are correlated to each other. If one particle is measured in 0, the other is also in 0. If one is 0, other is also in 0. If one particle is in 1, other is also in 1. So even if the particles are separated by large distance, their states remains correlated. So this is entanglement. कि जिन्ने मर्जी distance उत्ते पे होंगे, but they are correlated to each other. So this is called the entanglement. Next is the quantum interference. So quantum interference arises because quantum states are described by probability amplitude rather than the probabilities. Okay, so you can discuss way. If we have two probability amplitude A1 and A2, then the total probability is given by this one, A1, A2 and A. A1 is a probability amplitude of one state, this is a probability amplitude of the second state, but this A1, A2, it shows the quantum interference between the two states. Okay, the last term is the interference term, which leads to the constructive and destructive interference. So in quantum optics, interference effects are responsible for the phenomena of EIT and EIG and atom localization that we have already discussed. Next, quantum coherence. Again, I have discussed that a quantum coherence describes the fixed phase relationship between the quantum states in the superposition. Again, rho 11, rho 22 are the population of the two states. Rho 12 and rho 21 are the coherence between the two states. Okay, next is a quantum optics in quantum computing and applications. तो हम देखते हैं कि quantum optics की help करती है quantum computing ਨੂੰ arrange quantum computing ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. So quantum optics plays an important role in building quantum computers. So first, why we have taken quantum optics to build a quantum computers? Because in quantum optics we use that light is in the form of particle, and that particles are the photons, and they travel at the speed of light. First point is that. Second is that they are low interaction with the environment. Third is they maintain coherence for long distances. Again, I have discussed that. And in optical quantum computing, qubits are encoded in photon, polarization, phase and orbital angular momentum. And these are the application of the quantum computing: cryptography, database search, quantum simulation of the atoms and molecules, optimization problems, and artificial intelligence. So I will discuss one. First one is a cryptography. So cryptography, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ ਬੈਂਕਿੰਗ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਗੇ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਐਂਡ ਇਨ ਦੈਟ ਸਾਈਡ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਕੰਪਿਊਟਰਾਈਜ਼ਡ ਵਰਡ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦੇ, ਬਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਪਰਸਨਲ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਰਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲਾਈਜ਼ਡ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਡੀਕੋਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। तो ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕੁਆਂਟਮ ਮਕੈਨਿਕਸ ਦੀ ਹੀ ਦੇਣ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਰਸ ਹੈ, ਅਗਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਮੈਟਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਆਪਾਂ ਭੇਜਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਜੀਪੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੀਪੇ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਗੂਗਲ ਪੇ ਦੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ, ਐਂਡ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰੀਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਯੂ ਸੇ ਦੈਟ ਆਈ ਡੋਂਟ ਨੋ ਵਟ ਇਜ਼ ਦਿਸ। तो दैट इज बेसिकली क्वांटम क्रिप्टोग्राफी। तो ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਡ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਡੀਕੋਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, तो दैट आर द ट्रेनर कि कोई भी ਉਹਦਾ ਮਿਸਯੂਜ਼ ਨਾ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ। तो दैट्स वाई ਸਾਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਨੈਟ ਬੈਂਕਿੰਗ ਇਜ਼ ਵੈਰੀ ਸੇਫ, ਗੂਗਲ ਪੇ ਇਜ਼ ਵੈਰੀ ਸੇਫ, बिकॉज दैट ऑफ द क्वांटम क्रिप्टोग्राफी। So basics, again basic is a quantum mechanics. Next is a quantum communication. I have already secure information transfer undi hai. Quantum communication is the transfer of information using quantum states, typically single photons. Unlike classical communication, which encodes information in electrical signals and light intensity, quantum communication encodes information in the quantum properties such as polarization of photons, phase of photons, quantum superposition, and quantum entanglement. It should be noted that quantum states cannot be copied. Any attempt to interrupt the message disturb the system and can be detected. अगर कोई भी उधर misuse करेगा तो जेडे quantum systems है वो कि उससे वाले कि उनके disturb हो जाएंगे और ताड़ा system जेडा shut down हो जाएगा. So that's why I am asking that the quantum systems are not copied. Next. So again these are the principles used for the quantum communication. Next. So next is a QKD, that is quantum key distribution. One of the most important application of the quantum communication is a QKD. The first practical QKD was formed by Charles and Gallis in 1984. QKD allows parties to generate a secret encryption key with a probable security. So no one can misuse this information by using the QKD. Next. The role of the quantum optics in this QKD is quantum optics provides single photon sources, beam splitters and interferometers, entangled photon generations, low noise detectors. These optical components make secure quantum communication possible. Next. So these are the applications. Secure government communication. Second is banking and financial. Third is satellite-based quantum networks and future quantum internet. Next. So next is what is quantum sensors. So quantum sensors are measurement devices that use quantum mechanical properties such as coherence, superposition and entanglement to achieve extremely high precision. तो तुसी किसी मॉल च जांदे हो, तुसी देखदे हो अपने आप डोर खुल जांदे है, उत्थे सेंसर्स लगे हुंदे है. तो सिमिलरली देयर आर आल्सो ए क्वांटम सेंसर्स ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਹਾਈ ਪ੍ਰੀਸੀਜਨਲੀ वर्क करते हैं एज कंपेरेटिव टू द क्लासिकल फिजिक्स. तो वी आर मूविंग टू दैट लेवल. ओके, तो अगेन द बेसिक प्रिंसिपल आर यूज्ड quantum coherence, superposition of state, quantum interference and entanglement. You can see that in every applications of the quantum we can use these principles. Every application of the quantum depends upon these principles. Okay, next. So how do quantum sensors work? Quantum sensors typically operate by preparing atoms and quantum system in the coherent superposition state. When an external physical quantity like magnetic field, electric field and acceleration interacts with the system, it causes measurable changes such as energy level shift, phase shift, population redistribution, frequency shift. These changes are detected by laser spectroscopy techniques called EIT, Ramsey interferometry and Rabi oscillation. So these are the advantages of the quantum sensors. First is sensitivity beyond the standard quantum limit, extremely high spatial resolution, high phase detection accuracy, reduced noise through the quantum correlations. Okay, next. So quantum sensor basically detect very weak signals जेडे classical sensors जेडे detect नहीं कर सकते. Next is application of the quantum sensor. First is a magnetometry. I need this. First is a magnetometry. Atomic magnetometers measures extremely weak magnetic field using atomic spin precision, and its application is ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਨੇ ਕਰਾਈ ਹੋਏਗੀ MRI ਵੀ ਕਰਾਣੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ MRI ਕਰਾਈ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਟੈਕਨੀਕ ਜਿਓਲੋਜੀਕਲ ਐਕਸਪਲੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਡਿਫੈਂਸ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੇ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਇਜ਼ electric field sensing. Rydberg atoms are used to detect microwave and RF electric field with high precisions. Atomic clocks. Now atomic clocks बनाई गई based on the ultra precise atomic transition used in GPS system, ਸੈਟੇਲਾਈਟ ਨੈਵੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਐਂਡ ਟੈਲੀਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ। तो किस तरह चेंजेस हो रही ने सैटेलाइट ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, किस तरह ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ टाइम है वो किस तरह मेजर कर रहे हैं, अर्थ का टाइम और सैटेलाइट का टाइम। We can use the atomic clocks there, and the basic is again the quantum mechanics. Now gravimetry and inertial sensing used in navigation system and underground mapping. Again, this is another application of the quantum sensors. Next, so precision metrology and atomic clocks. What is precision metrology? Precision metrology is the science of extremely accurate measurement of physical quantities. We can, by using this precision metrology, we can accurately find out the time, frequency, length and the magnetic fields. But to most precise measurements are based on the atomic transition, not on the mechanical devices. कोई mechanical devices नहीं लगी हैं, उथे atomic transition हो रही हैं। So what are the atomic transitions? Atoms have discrete and well-defined energy levels. When an electron transition between two energy levels, it absorbs and emits radiation. Okay, in atomic transition you can see that when there is an atom, when the atom from the higher state goes to the lower state, there is an emission of photon. Okay, if this is happen, you can say that there is a change in the frequency. So ultimately you are not using any mechanical device to find out this change, you are using the atomic transitions. So atomic clocks works by locking a microwave and laser frequency to an atomic transition frequency. For example, the second is defined using the hyperfine transition of cesium-133. This is my work. Rubidium clocks are also widely used in the practical system. Clock continuously adjusts the oscillator frequency until it matches the atomic resonance frequency. This gives timing accuracy up to 1 second error in millions to billions of the years. So these are the properties of the atomic clocks. Next. So role of quantum optics. What is the role of quantum optics in these atomic clocks? First is laser cooling. Atoms are cooled to microkelvin temperature. Why important? Reduce Doppler bonding, minimize atomic motion and narrow spectral lines, increase measurement precision. Cold atom moves slowly, less frequency shift and better stability. You can see that. If atom are closed, cold, they move slowly. अगर temperature high होएगा, atoms are move fast, but cold atom move slowly, less frequency shift and better stability. So this is a coherent control. So using coherent laser fields, atoms are prepared in superposition states. Quantum interference effect reduce noise. Ramsey spectroscopy improves resolution. This increase frequency discrimination beyond the classic limits. Next. So these are the applications of this quantum optics: atomic clocks, GPS systems, satellite navigations and telecommunications. Okay, next. So beyond the classical limits, our quantum mechanics works beyond the classical limits. Quantum optical clocks use atomic resonance, Heisenberg limit of precision and achieve extremely high stability. So long coherent interaction, if there is a long coherent interaction, then there is a better precision occurs. Next. So this is my research group. I have 4 PhD scholars till now. Dr. Amanjot and Dr. Jubair have already done their PhD, and now I have recently Himani Thakur, and one of my students is present here, Dr. Ms. Richa Mahadan, and these are my project students, MSc project students. And thank you. If you have any query, you can ask me.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank our esteemed resource person, Dr. Paramjit Kaur, Assistant Professor in Physics from University University, Amritsar, for accepting our invitation and visiting our college here in Gurdaspur. Thank you, ma'am, for your very informative, interesting, and inspiring lecture on fundamental of quantum optics, the light at the quantum level, and sharing your valuable knowledge and research with us. I also express my sincere thanks to our respected principal, sir, Dr. Ashwin Kumar Palla, for their support, guidance, and organizing such kind of series of extension lectures. At last, I also thank our respected faculty members, especially students, for their cooperation, maintaining the discipline and contributing to the success of today's extension lecture. Thank you and thanks a lot.